Welcome, ladies, to today's webinar on the secrets to mastering your hormonal cleanse. It's such an exciting topic for women as we're looking into optimizing our hormonal health. And that's really why I wanted to be sharing with you about how to do a cleanse. You've probably heard a lot about cleanses, detoxes, and very often we're talking about, specific symptoms you want to get rid of, but going further into it, for me, the interest is in helping you to reset your health and balance your hormones. And that's what I want to be focusing on today, to help you to discover the secrets to master your hormonal cleanse and to have the right principles in place in order to do so. So, if we haven't met yet, my name is Audrey Sorby-Arnold, and I absolutely love supporting women who are motivated to improve their hormonal health. I am motivated to help you remove compromises from your life so that you can experience and achieve all of your health goals, and as a consequence to live a life that you fully enjoy without having to make so many compromises. So together today we will explore the secrets to master your hormonal cleanse. And by the end of today's class, you will be more informed on why these matter, and you will have a clearer idea of how to make a hormonal cleanse that works for you. At any point in time, if you have any questions during our time together, please do let me know, post the questions below this video, and I'll reply as soon as I can. Alright, let's get started, and welcome again. I am really glad that you are here today with me. Health is such a crucial aspect of wellness and disease prevention and hormonal balance. When our bodies are functioning optimally, we feel better, we think more clearly, we have more energy for what matters for us, and we also look our best. There are many things, of course, that we can be looking into, but at the end of the day, it's really about living your best of life, knowing that your body is supporting you. So today, as I mentioned already, I'm going to address the secrets to master and successfully your hormonal cleanse. This also includes why you want to cleanse, how to cleanse safely, and the foods that contribute to toxic buildup in your body. But why should you listen to me? I am the founder of lotuspowerhealth.com, which is probably where you went anyway to register for this masterclass, and I am one of Europe's leading women's health and nutrition experts. I help my clients, mostly women, optimize their health for understanding of their biology, whether we're talking about DNA and genes, hormones, food intolerances, and individualized nutrition. My clients very soon see amazing results like reducing and eliminating the most uncomfortable symptoms from menstruation, PMS, endometriosis, PCOS, or fibroids, and also optimizing their chances of getting pregnant and giving birth to a healthy baby. I myself started on this path in 2011. I had absolutely no clue back then about all of this. I was depressed, I was burnt out, I was completely exhausted. I had really strong and frustrating symptoms of PMS and pain every single day from endometriosis flare-ups. I felt at the time like I was carrying the whole world on my shoulders and that it would never change. And that was shortly followed by a diagnosis of infertility, not just for myself, but for my husband. Since, I had endometriosis, infertility is kind of a given in this situation. And frankly, that was a devastating diagnosis. And I had no clue what I could do. And I was back then working in the finance industry, and I was overworked, and clearly all of these things on top of each other didn't help. And as I discovered more about what I could do to help myself naturally, I finally could become pain-free, and I got pregnant on the first IVF trial that we did and gave birth to my twin baby boys in 2016. And now that's why I'm so passionate about sharing my story and the tools I used through these masterclasses and my programs with the women who need it. And when you listen until the end, you'll also have the chance to join me as an early bird for the Hormone Reset Spring Cleanse program that I'm launching, where I will be sharing even more of the tools, but also providing support. Because I know how essential and crucial having support is in your journey, so that you're not just learning, but you're applying the tools and making them work for you. And if you're curious about it already, I invite you to check out this link, bit.ly/hormones-reset-spring. But let's go back to the main topic of today, shall we? So the secret number one to make a hormonal cleanse work for you is to know how toxic you are. Sounds kind of basic, but a lot of my clients are not even aware of where they are being in contact with toxins. So that's why it's the secret number one. And it of course starts with defining toxicity. In order to understand how to cleanse and to reset your hormones, we have to talk about what toxicity is about. So toxicity, to give you a definition, is a degree to which a substance, either a toxin or a poison, can cause harm. There are two medical distinctions of toxicity. The first one is the acute toxicity that involves harmful effects in an organism through a single or short-term exposure. The second one is chronic toxicity. On the other hand, this is the ability of a substance or a mixture of substances to cause harmful effects over an extended period of time, usually upon repeated or continuous exposure, and sometimes these can last for the entire life of the exposed organism. And it's important to know where the different types of toxicity so that you can really combine them to understanding where they're affecting you in your life on a daily basis. The body's natural process for detoxification is done by removing the impurities from the blood in the liver, where the toxins are processed for elimination. And it's super important, it's really crucial. The body also eliminates toxins through the kidneys, the intestines, the lungs, the lymphatic system, and the skin. And we are continually bombarded with various chemicals and environmental toxins which can slow down the body's elimination process. So removing the toxin that we're in contact with is about resting, cleansing, and nourishing the body from the inside out. Many of my colleagues, and myself included, believe that the combination of these processes can help to prevent disease by removing and eliminating toxins when you feed your body with healthy nutrients, and also by supporting that elimination system. You are getting in a position where you are boosting your immune system and helping your body to naturally remove those toxins that you're in contact with. But how does cleansing work? The goal of a cleansing program is to help boost the body's natural cleansing process by resting the organs through fasting, stimulating the liver to drive the toxins out from the body, also promoting elimination through the intestines, the kidneys, and the skin, and improving the circulation of the blood, which is what effectively your lymphatic system is about, as well as refueling the body with healthy nutrients. So there are different key aspects about cleansing that we have to be aware of in order to make it work for us when we're talking about hormone balance and cleansing for hormone balance. But it goes beyond that. It's also about knowing what are the symptoms that you currently have that stem from toxin exposure. Let me give you some examples here. So, some of the most common symptoms of toxicity that I've seen with my clients, but also with myself in the past, and that the more we were aware of this and the more we can get into a position of knowing where they're coming from and what to do about it, those symptoms are, and these are just a few examples again. So you've got unexplained fatigue, sluggish elimination, irritated and reddish skin, allergies, low-grade infection, like you're having a cold but not really a cold, puffy eyes or bags under the eyes, bloating, menstrual problems, mental confusion. And these are really just a few of the symptoms that you might be experiencing when you have toxicity exposure. So anyone who experiences one or more of the above symptoms that I just mentioned can benefit from even a short cleanse to help alleviate the stress on the body. If there are specific symptoms that you currently see that you're experiencing on a regular basis that you didn't even know stemmed from potential toxicity, if there are symptoms that you're thinking, oh my God, I didn't know that could come from there and I really want to be doing something about it. I'd love to know, the clearer we are about what is currently in our life that we don't have to tolerate, and then it is so much easier for us to be putting an action plan together to remove it. And if you're curious as well about other symptoms of toxicity that are holding you down, then you'll absolutely love the Hormones Reset Spring program, as we'll look both into your symptoms, their root causes, and how to get them under control with the specific protocols that I've put together and tested and tried with my clients and also with myself and through the studies I've done. So I've shortened the time from all the scientific evidence to the practical aspect of getting you the result that you want through that program. And I'm so excited to be releasing to you today. And cleansing, it's really not a new discovery. You've probably heard about it already several times, about cleansing, detoxes, reset programs. They all have different names, but they effectively have similar goals. I'm saying similar because depending on who you're talking to, they're oriented more towards helping you get rid of a specific symptoms or something more general. My personal goal is to help you to get your hormones under balance. Other people might just want to get you to lose weight or get more greens into your life. It really depends on the goal that you have, and it's important to be finding the program that resonates the most with you in terms both of content and goals, but also the personality of the person offering it and the support you're getting. But anyway, so cleansing, as I was saying, it's not something new. For centuries, we have a lot of cultures around the world that have practiced cleansing as part of a religious rituals, and they have been rewarded with health benefits. Some of the results that they have reported throughout history to experiencing after a cleanse or detox are clearer skin, weight loss, increased immune function, lessened cravings, food intolerance relief, improved clarity and sense of well-being, elimination of excess waste in the body, whether we're talking about the colon or whether we're talking about excess water, but also more energy. Sounds good, right? When you think about how a cleanse can help you to move from a position where you're experiencing some symptoms that are being frustrating to effectively getting rid of them, you think, oh, that's not so bad. But before you start thinking about cleansing, you've got to keep in mind as well that it does take work. You've got to want to do the work. It's not just taking a magic pill. You have to do the work that goes with it. And the effort that you're putting in will lead you to the result that you're looking for. But of course, as with everything, you have to be willing to work for it. And the clearer you are about the benefit that you personally want to experience from the cleanse, and the bigger the motivation will be. I personally believe that you don't have to force yourself into doing something you don't want to do, but when you find something that you're really motivated to do, and that a benefit that is so strong and important and key for you to be experiencing your best of life, then it makes it all so much easier for you to be doing those changes. Like for me, it was to get out of pain from endometriosis and to get pregnant with my boys. And like for other clients, it is in order to be able to travel around the world for the job that they want, or for some ones as well to be feeling comfortable going after the partner that they want to find in their life. It really depends on the goal that you have. Once you have that goal clear in your mind, all of the steps that will lead to that goal will just be simple confirmation of the different actions and habits that you have to implement to get there. And one of those actions that we have to talk about is about foods. And we've got to be real about the foods. Some of the things you've heard about, some of the things you're probably not aware about, and that's why that's kind of a well-kept secret too. Aside from the obvious external factors like we talked about chemicals in clothing and furniture and cleaning supplies, many of the food that we eat are not really foods. They are sometimes just food-like substances, and we have to be careful about that. And that's why food is one of the top offenders. Even some of the fruit and vegetables that we eat, they're grown with pesticides and they're heavily covered with poisons. And the more aware you become about where your food is coming from, and the more you are able to remove that toxin exposure that you have from daily use. And so when we look into the top offenders when it comes to toxic foods, we want to be aware of sugar and sugar substitutes, gluten, caffeine, dairy, meat, processed foods, and sodas. These are some of the most common toxic foods that you've probably heard about already. And then, of course, you have all of the other ones, but it's important to start with one thing at a time. And the effect of these toxic foods, there are quite a different number of effects and health outcomes that are a result from eating a diet that contains those foods that I mentioned previously. These foods are also associated with poor overall diet intake, and that's been linked to many diseases and chronic conditions. Of course, interested in hormones, I'm talking about, PMS. It's not exactly a condition, but partially so PMS, PCOS, endometriosis, fibroids, infertility. Having a poor diet will affect these conditions, but also cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes, obesity, some type of cancers, and osteoporosis. Everything is connected. Whenever you have a diet that is poor and toxic, it results in inflammation in your body, which leads to specific genes you have, your DNA, to be expressed in a specific way. And that will lead to you experiencing more and more conditions that are connected with inflammation. And that's really why we want to be looking into those toxic foods and removing them from your diet, so that you are getting in a position when you're more in control and getting into a position where you are effectively preventing your body from being inflamed from the food that you eat and from something that you're doing on a daily basis. And I know this is kind of For most of you, this is something that you know and that you've heard about already, but it's well worth repeating. So, how do we know that processed foods are bad? Well, the simple answer is that every time a population adopts a Western diet high in processed food, they get sick. As clear as that. So the processed food I'm referring to are, like on this picture, those that have been chemically processed and made solely from refined ingredients and artificial substances. And detoxing from processed foods usually results in lower intake of sugar, and for the US, high fructose corn syrup. In Europe, we don't have that so much, which is great. Then artificial ingredients as well, like preservatives, colorant, flavor enhancer, chemicals, and texturants. And with regards to refined carbohydrates, which are the one responsible for rapid spikes in blood sugar and insulin levels too. And when we remove these foods, then we're in a better position to reduce inflammation in our body too. Usually processed foods are engineered for overconsumption, and they can lead to addiction because of the chemicals that are a component of it. Our bodies are not designed to handle the massive amount of salt, sugar, and unhealthy fats that are found in processed food. And in fact, when you look into comparing the different type of foods and refining your palate, you will find some amazing results that some of the hormone researchers have also been experiencing. For example, let's look into cutting out sugar. So very often weight loss is noted as the most noticeable outward sign of following a cleanse, and that's often followed by a clearer complexion. But there are also many internal benefits, like an increase in sustained energy levels and experiencing less bloating and gas, but also lower PMS symptoms, lower anxiety, all those sneaky symptoms that usually sneak up onto you that become part of your life, and you kind of live with it and you think, that's okay, it could be better if I didn't have them, but you kind of get used to it, and then suddenly when you don't experience them anymore, you're thinking, oh wow, how would my life have been earlier if I knew I didn't have to keep those symptoms and I could actually kick them out. I know that's what happened to me ever since I started on this journey, and even before. I always thought that most of the symptoms I had were normal because that's what I was told. And very often when I have a conversation with my clients, the same will happen. It's like I'm listening to myself 5 years or 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Or they come to me and say, I've been experiencing this, and my mom and my aunt too, and my sisters as well, and I know it's normal, I'm not expecting for miracles, but it would be great if that could become just a tiny bit better. If I could be a tiny bit less in pain, or if I could lose weight, or if I could feel a bit more energetic. I don't want too big a change, I just want to be a tiny bit better. And then we look into everything they've been doing so far and into how they can shift slowly their habits and their lifestyle and their nutrition to get them on a journey to reduce inflammation. And when you reach that point where you suddenly notice that where you started has completely shifted to where you are now, and you're not experiencing those symptoms anymore, then suddenly you look back and you think, why didn't I do that sooner? And so refined sugar is one of the first things that when you look into it, it is everywhere. It is a sneaky thing, and it is everywhere around you. And when you look into removing it from your diet, then you will soon notice that there are many different effects on your health and on your body and also on your mind. Refined sugar is one of the most harmful things you can put in your body that isn't outright classified as a narcotic or poison. A few years back, I remember reading a study that said that rats were being addicted more to sugar than they were to cocaine, which meant that there was a parallel between the two. And sugar was even more addictive than cocaine. Can you imagine that? I mean, we're talking about two white stuff, okay. Sugar, I plead guilty. The other one I don't. But it's incredible that these are things that we are looking at every day and that we have into our life. And it's important whether we're looking at our health or the health of our family and our children, that we look into how we can reduce the effect of these toxic foods into our life. And specifically, with regards to sugar, there's emerging research that suggests that sugar causes our cells to degrade faster, which leads to DNA damage and accelerated aging. And because I love everything hormones and food and DNA related, I couldn't pass on the opportunity to be sharing that piece of research with you. But once you've broken the cycle of sugar dependency and cleansed your system of its effect, sugary snacks like donuts or croissant and cake won't have the same irresistible appeal to you that they once had. And those foods you never thought of as particularly sweet, like bell peppers and carrots and beets, will start tasting very sweet. And you will actually feel that they are sustaining you even longer and better for what your body naturally needs. And if you are addicted to sugar, like I know many of my clients were, then you'll love also the Hormonal Reset Spring program, because I am including as a bonus when you sign up today a 10-day sugar detox program to help you reduce unhealthy sugar from your life before starting the program or after you decide. It kind of depends on what you want to be starting with. Often I'd recommend you start with removing sugar from your diet and then moving into the detox program. But you might actually find that the detox program will help you also to crowd out unhealthy sugar from your life. In any case, that's a bonus as well when you enroll today. And when removing animal products from your diet, the body goes into cleansing mode to rid itself of the accumulated toxins. And as much as we were talking about sugar before, we also have to talk now about animal products. Because some of the benefits of cleansing from meat and dairy products include reduced inflammation, lower blood cholesterol levels, rebalancing of healthy gut bacteria, lowering of estrogen in the body, and lowering of PMS symptoms and specific estrogen dominant conditions like endometriosis, PCOS, fibroid. I'm not talking about you becoming vegan or vegetarian for your whole life. Personally, I'm not. But I'm talking about being careful about the type of meat that you're having and how often you're having it as well. And the same for the dairy. So even if you're not ready to take the plunge and to be full-on vegetarian or vegan, it's recommended that you avoid meat and dairy while doing a cleanse, because meat slows down digestion, clogs up the bowel, and breeds harmful bacteria in your gut. Milk, cheese, and other dairy products are acidic to the body, and they lead to reduced cell function and the slowing down of detoxification. And they also have a strong impact on the balance of estrogen versus progesterone, which we, of course, want to keep under watch. And our secret number 3 is to know what you're getting yourself into when we're talking about a cleanse, and to prioritize what matters as well during a cleanse. I'm always a big proponent when I talk to my clients about looking into what makes sense for them and not being overwhelmed. Because the only way of not keeping with your resolutions or with the goals or the action steps you want to take is by making it overly complicated. And that's where prioritization comes into place. You've got to be clear about your goal, but you've got to be clear as well about the different steps you want to take and feel confident you'll be able to stick to. And that's why we've got to know where to get started. When it comes to cleansing, there are many different options available depending on your needs. There are programs that can last anywhere from 3 days to a month or more. Fasting programs should be done with extreme care and for a short duration. I always recommend that you discuss significant changes with your doctor or medical practitioner to make sure that you are aware of any potential risk to your health. And that's the same also with the 3 to 7 days juice fast, where you only drink, for example, fresh fruits and vegetable juices and water. They can be effective to release toxins from the body, but this type of detox can be quite extreme for beginners, and depending on the health condition that you have, they can also be a bit too strong and sometimes dangerous. Because as you're releasing toxins from the body, the toxins go back into your bloodstream and might actually create additional symptoms. So it's important to be looking into something, from my professional opinion, that is safe to use, so that as you're releasing toxins from your body, you're also safely moving it out of your body so that you're not exposed to those toxins twice. When they get out of your body and when they get released from the fat cells where they're stored, to when they get recycled into your bloodstream before they actually move out. And then you also do have longer duration detoxes diet that you may want to try, which could be a simple fruit and veggie detox, smoothie cleanse, juice cleanse, sugar detox, hypoallergenic detox. And as I mentioned, depending on the program that you choose, you want to be sure that these programs are supporting your goals of balancing your hormones rather than adding stress on your body, which will result in production of cortisol, your stress hormone, and hence bringing up as well your estrogen and reducing your progesterone, which is going to be exacerbating some of the symptoms that you actually want to get rid of. And that's why it's important to go with a proven program that works for your personal needs, but also for hormonal balance, rather than something that might work too fast, but actually leads you to experiencing stronger symptoms after you're done with that program. And as we mentioned already, you've got to be clear on your goal. So to get started, it's important to identify your goal. And then you've got to determine a way to measure where you currently are with your goals so you can track your success and your progress. Here are some examples. So if your goal is weight loss, then weigh and measure yourself. If your goal is to get rid of headaches, document the duration, intensity, frequency, and surrounding factors of your discomfort. If your goal is to get rid of PMS symptoms or symptoms of endometriosis or PMS or PCOS, or specific symptoms you are experiencing from fibroids, then document those as well, whether we're talking about duration of pain, intensity, frequency, or also something more physical in the terms of how big the cysts are or the fibroids are. And of course as well the surrounding factors of your discomfort. If your goal is again to more frequent and less painful bowel movements, then keep a chart as well to track them, what you ate before and how you felt. And if you want to de-stress, map out how you feel throughout the day, before, during and after. If one of your goals is to sleep better, then map out as well when you're going to bed, how long you're sleeping for, and how well you're sleeping. And if you need help with setting up or measuring your success, then share it below this video as well. by sharing your goal, we get to brainstorm together some of the ideas for you to be tracking your goals, but also your results, which is as important as setting a goal. And when one of your goals is reducing your symptoms from hormonal imbalances, then you'll obviously need to be clear as to what they are. And also very often get tested. And if that's something that you'd like to do, then you love the Hormones Reset Spring program, as you'll get access to a questionnaire that we've put together about hormone assessment symptom that you might be experiencing, but you'll also get a session with me to talk about which hormone test from our partner, Canary Club, is right for you. And that is super helpful in itself as well, because they don't usually offer those type of calls to discuss about what are your symptoms are and how you might benefit from a test. And I know their tests are just amazing at providing you so much information about where you've got to start. So when you enroll into the Hormones Reset Spring program, you'll also get that help to choose which hormone testing kit is right for you. I know this is not new to you, but it bears again repeating. So, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Proper preparation is going to be key to your success. And one of the most important things you can do to prepare is to clean out your kitchen of all toxic foods. You've got to go through your pantry, your refrigerator, your cabinets, and your baskets to remove anything processed, sugary or caffeinated. Letting go is a great feeling. Sometimes it's a bit frustrating or worrying, but then you can move into the next step, which is to stock up your pantry. You want to make sure that your pantry and your kitchen is fully stocked with everything you need. One of the causes of eating poorly is lacking the time to prepare healthy snacks and meals. And you can avoid this pitfall with a little food prep. Once you get your food home, prep everything before putting the items away, and you're more likely to snack on already cut out carrots or throw a meal together if all the veggies are already peeled and diced than if you just have access to bread and butter and cheese or things like that. And the more you can prep ahead of time, the less likely you'll be to grab something unhealthy out of convenience stores or out of a box. And if you're not sure where to start with that and what to remove from your kitchen and what to stock it with, then the Hormones Reset program is for you. And of course, because we're talking about cleansing and what to have for yourself, then lemons is a part of it. When you start every morning with a glass of warm lemon water, it will help to stimulate your digestion for the day and to clear the body of any toxin that might have settled in your digestive tract overnight. And then during the day, you can drink lemon water to help as well to continue cleansing your body. Lemon water supports your immune function. It alkalizes the body, it aids the digestion, clears the toxins, and it promotes healing as well. Now, mind you, it's a simple drink, but it does wonders. So if you're not having that daily already, then I'd strongly recommend you take a look into including that drink. And talking about additional drinks you might consider into your cleanse, we've got smoothies. They're packed with nutrition and they can make a great meal. Plus you can hide all kinds of healthy additions in a smoothie. But now you have to bear in mind also what to put in there. So usually it's about choosing the right type of foods that are low glycemic and high in anti-inflammatory properties. And because we tackle the cold stuff, now we can move on to the warm stuff. So soups also are a great way to add more vegetables and anti-inflammatory properties to your meals during a detox. And that way it works for you, whether we're talking about spring or fall or autumn or winter. You can add whichever type of food you want, and you can have them cold or you can have them warm, whatever works for you. And you can get a really well-balanced meal by adding healthy fats and complex carbs and nuts and seeds and herbs as well to your soups and to your smoothies. I want to keep the class short, and I know we're already about 40 minutes in, so I'll be leaving you to review what we've talked about today, because the class is recorded, so you can go back to what we've talked about. And you can decide for yourself on your next steps. So we've seen the importance of checking how toxic you are, how foods play an impact on your toxicity, and even the foods you wouldn't usually suspect. And how you need to be clear as to what your goals are, what you're looking to create for yourself, and prioritize the type of actions and habits that you're currently taking. And so with that, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, please post them below this video. And if you need time to let all the information sink in, then you can message me anytime after this class. That said, don't wait too long to decide how to prioritize your health. If you're feeling discouraged, remember that what you're working towards. I'd love to hear about your experience over the next few weeks. What did you decide to focus on? What are the symptoms you want to get rid of? How are you making sure that you're prioritizing your health? Who do you have on your team to help you do that? And also, if you think you could benefit from one-on-one support, let me know. In fact, as you're looking to follow a proven hormones reset cleanse program, I invite you to consider the one I am launching now today with you. The Hormones Reset Spring program has two options. So with the Hormones Reset Spring program, we're looking into your symptoms, we're looking into where they originate, as well as an action plan for you to be using to get rid of those symptoms, and monitor as well the changes that you're making to make sure that you're getting the most out of it. And that's why we've got a Spring Hormones Reset Guide that tackles not only the nutritional aspects, but also the emotional aspects and everything connected with moving into spring. We've got a recipe guide, we've got weekly support lessons and resources. I have a few masterclasses I released last year, and I was planning to release as well to my clients this year. I'll be asking you which one you benefit most from. So if you're looking, for example, to understand better how to do meal prep to save time, then I can release that one to you. Or if one of your symptoms is about getting better sleep, then we'll also tackle that. I want this program to be what you're looking for. I don't want it to be what I'm just giving to you. I want it to be what you're looking for. What are your needs? And that is really important for me. And that's why we'll have also weekly live Q&A calls. When you can't make it for the call, because I know some of you are not from Europe, and I tend to do my calls like today on Monday evening my time, then you can send me your question by email, and I will record the calls and the answers, and you'll get the recording as well. There's also a food diary, and because I know how important it is to be looking into the emotional aspects of a cleanse and of the symptoms you're experiencing, I am also including visualizations I have created for my clients. You will find more about it on the link that is mentioned here, so bit.ly/hormones-reset-spring. And there is also an early bird price. So this is the online program with group support. You get access to me once a week for $97 for a month, 4 to 6 weeks. It will depend, I think, on where you want to start. The program is starting itself on April 15th, but I know that for some of you, if you're currently in your having your period, you might want to start about a week later. And that's why I wanted to be flexible and to keep on answering your questions. So the program is 4 weeks, but I might be convinced with a nice hello and hi to extend it to 6 weeks for the same price. So this is a group program, and when you know you want to have access to me and you want to have one-on-one calls with me, then for $297 you get 2 additional one-on-one calls with me at 50% of the normal price that usually my one-on-one clients pay. All right, if you have any questions, you can PM me or you can send me an email to audrey@lotuspowerhealth.com. And in the meantime, let me open up for Q&A. I will close the recording today and I will reply to your questions later as I am preparing to say goodnight to my little boys. Wishing you a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Any questions, let me know. I'll be replying within the next 24 to 48 hours as you're posting your questions.